Hello guys, it's me, RP. It's been a long time since I've done a vlog video. Well, the video was supposed to be a motovlog today in a very traditional sense, but I kind of fucked up the audio because I didn't really plug my microphone in properly and the audio just didn't record. As you can see, I was waving my hands throughout this video, so it was meant to be that way. But other than that, I just screwed up. So you still make mistakes in video making after 7 years on YouTube and all that jizz. So this video is just gonna be a bit of a life update on myself and how I'm, really dealing with life nowadays. I kind of took a new job as a digital marketing executive last March. So I'm already been in the company for just a bit over a year. And during this whole COVID-19 pandemic, I've also moved into my new HDB, my new flat. I'm now a homeowner and I've been living here for over a year and a half. It's really nice having a space to call my own, and I'm kind of lucky the pandemic didn't really affect my my collection of keys as much as most people that are going to be collecting their flats after me, because I ordered mine in 2015 and it was completed physically before the pandemic even started. And the only reason why I had a 6 month delay before I collected my keys was because the people that were in charge of disseminating the keys weren't allowed to go to work, but otherwise the flat was there. So when there was a break, in the what do you call that, the lockdowns, I managed to collect my keys and I've been living here for over a year and a half now. So life has been, not say good, not that bad. If you guys have been paying attention to prices and the news in general, headline inflation kind of rose to 5.4% as of March this year. And I don't know, it could realistically probably even reach as high as 7.4% by the end of the year before it peters off, but who knows? I'm not an economist. So it's a problem, it's a problem. I used to eat chicken rice at the food court near my workplace for like $5, the whole set, chicken rice, chicken, soup and vegetable, a complete healthy meal. But now it costs $6.80. Can you believe it? It's $1.80, almost $2 increase over the course of just a single year for chicken rice. What the hell, man? And gas prices have gone up as well. There was a time, I feel like an old man right now, but there was a time I was paying $1.90 per liter for 95, and now I'm paying $3 per liter for 95, which is ridiculous considering I'm riding a Ducati Desert Sled right now. It's not the worst in terms of fuel economy, but it's not the best either. And the fact that now we are no longer in a work from home for 100% kind of a system now. A lot of companies, including mine, are asking employees to come back full time, 5 days a week. The cost of commuting is ridiculous. Just on petrol alone, I probably spend like $15 on petrol every single week, and that's just to go to office and back. I'm not even including any other trips to collect groceries or just hang out or whatever. So I mean, a lot of my colleagues think that, well, you know, you love bikes, right? They know I love bikes. So commuting to work must be like the best thing in the world for you. But it's a stupid, comparison, because when I'm riding my motorcycle off-road, my desert sled off-road, or on a weekend joyride, I'm taking scenic routes, I'm taking roads where there's no traffic, and you get to see and enjoy the sights and actually relax. But going to work at the same time as a million other people trying to rush to the office at the same time at 7:30 a.m. in the morning is a chore. It's a pain. Having to squeeze with all the cars and all the other motorcycles just heading in the same direction as you kind of sucks. And the same is true on the way back as well. So apart from that, COE has gone up, of course. The new measures by LTA to curb the runaway prices have yet to show appreciable results after a month. So we've yet to see anything happening with the COE prices. It's now about just shy of 11 grand. It went up to 11 grand for a moment and then it went out a bit. But for the foreseeable future, it's still going to be about there. It doesn't really affect me immediately because I've already got my motorcycles, right? I've got my Desert Sled and I've got my Versys-X 300, and to top it off, I bought them second hand. So the immediate cost of a high COE price doesn't affect me. My only worry is that the current price trends is going to lead further along in the future, because as you know how things work, when prices go up, they just never drop. That's the way things are throughout the history of COE. So what I fear the most is when 2028 rolls along and I have to renew my Desert Sled and my Versys-X 300. Both are going to expire at the same time. I don't know, am I going to be able to afford the renewal, or do I have to give up both bikes, or do I have to give up one bike? Because I really like both, and I would, ideally like to keep both. But, when it comes, who knows? I'm just hoping that this 10,000 is just a blip and an oddity in the price trends, and that maybe by 2018, something more along the lines of 5,000, 6,000 would be the norm rather than 10,000 right now. Probably, hopefully even lesser than that. But I'm digressing there. So the real reason why all these issues with inflation and price increases very, very recently is because wages have stayed the same for me since 2019, right? I don't earn much to begin with, but since 2019, throughout the length of the pandemic, my salary has not gone up a single bit. I'm lucky enough to not have lost my job throughout the pandemic, and I have known a friend who got retrenched. He was in the construction sector, and then he had to reskill, take a course, and then go into a different industry. But there was a period of time he was jobless, and I'm lucky I'm not like him. But suffice to say, it's not the best thing in the world for me right now as well, considering that I've not earned a wage increase for 2 years, but in that same 2 years, prices for literally everything has gone up by almost 30-35% for me in terms of my expenses, and it is taking a significant hit in my pocketbook. And this recent push to go back to office is not helping at all. In fact, during the work from home phase of the pandemic, it kind of helped me save a lot. So between my monthly expenses just prior to the pandemic in 2019 and when work from home first started, I saw myself saving about 200 every single month in monthly expenses. That is a huge amount of savings. Now, as things are opening up, I'm seeing my expenses go back up to what they were like before the pandemic hit, and some extra, So I've been kind of trying to save on money wherever I can, because now transport has gone up for me in terms of petrol. And of course I do take public transport, trains and buses as well, because I don't ride my motorcycle when I'm with my wife or when I need to haul things around, especially when I have 2 guinea pigs and I need to go to the vet. So even taking the bus and the train, prices has gone up a bit, not as significantly as petrol, but it's still an increase there. And then on top of that, the fact that I have to go back to office means now I have to start doing more laundry. So the price of water, detergent and all that comes up about $3, $3 to $5 a week. Let's put it that way, in terms of laundry. And of course, food has gone up the most. Like, I used to need to spend about $80 to $100 depending on how stingy I want to be on myself, on food, before the pandemic. Then after the pandemic, when we were working from home, food became a lot cheaper, because I could just survive on like a single slice of prata for lunch, and then maybe a canned meat, a sausage and some chili packets, because those things are really cheap and I'm not out and about, so I don't get as hungry as I would when I'm in the office. So usually during the work from home phase, the cost of lunch would be about $1 to $1.50. Now when I'm back at work, if I were to take the easy way out and eat in places around my office, it would be about $4.50 at the cheapest, and it goes up to $10 depending on what I eat. If I want to, make the effort to either take my bike and ride out further into the heartlands, or really hike for 30 minutes to the nearest neighborhood coffee shop, then I can actually find food that costs about $2.50 to $3, slightly cheaper than the stuff around my office. But it's a huge hike, 30 minutes of walking there and then back, so I pretty much already overshoot my lunchtime. If I take my bike, I'm just ending up spending the same amount as I would on just eating around my office anyway, because I'm spending on petrol. So these are expenses that pile up. So I'm not sure if any of you guys are seeing the same issue as well as me, but I've kind of formulated a 3-step plan for these 3 immediate problems for myself to try and save money where possible. So for transport, you can't really do anything about the distance, especially as a motorcycle rider. If you are a bike rider, probably, if you are willing, you could just take public transport, but then you'd wake up a lot earlier, and I kind of think it's not worth my time spending, trying to squeeze with the rest of the office going crowd on the same bus, the same train. And with bikes, you really can't control the distance traveled, because you're probably already traveling the most optimum distance from point A to point B, from your home to your office and back again. So the only way I think you can really save on this is if you are riding a really big motorcycle like mine. You might consider downgrading to something smaller. Underbones really save a lot of petrol there, and I think right now the biggest expense for most riders upfront, if you're already riding, is going to be the petrol. Now, of course, this is not a very practical idea because you can't just drop your existing bike and buy a new one at a drop of a hat. You know, bikes are not, you know, fungible commodities that you can exchange just like that. But what you can always do is invest in a good set of commuting tires. I know a lot of people have sport tires, but I think it's a good idea to invest in some really decent sport touring tires and then inflate them to the proper load limit for your bike, at least to make your bike a bit more economical. Otherwise, there are other really good methods like shutting your engine off at stoplights, at traffic lights for that period. Just shutting your engine off for a single minute is going to give you quite a lot of fuel savings, especially on larger motorcycles. The other thing that I think you could invest into is a larger tank, or if you can manage to find a way to store extra petrol on your bike, so you don't have to make the trip to a petrol station, especially on bikes with smaller tanks, you know, like my desert sled. If you can find a way to either install a safari tank or bring jerry cans along, I think it's a better idea to carry extra fuel on you rather than emptying out your current tank and then topping it up, because you kind of waste a lot of petrol just, you know, making that trip out of your usual route to a petrol station and then back again to your end destination. So for example, I usually will try and top up my petrol on the way back from work, and the trip between my office to the petrol station and then back home incurs, I don't know, something like 4 or 5 extra kilometers, you know, just to make that extra trip to fill up. So 5 kilometers is almost close to $1 worth of petrol being expended there. So it's all these little things that kind of add up over time. You know, $1 here, $1 there doesn't sound like much, but they really add up over time. And over the course of a year, you could be looking at extra $200 to $300 worth of expenses, you know, you could have saved. Now for laundry, it may sound a bit disgusting, but the way I save on laundry is that for the clothes that I wear to go to the office, I generally, even though I'm working 5 days a week, I generally use the same set of jeans unless it rains or it gets heavily soiled. I'll use the exact same pair of jeans for an entire week, and I'll only change my socks out like twice in a week. So 2 pairs of socks in a week, and then two tops. I usually wear a polo tee, so it's cotton. It doesn't really sting that bad, and I'm in an aircon room anyway. I'm doing a desk job, so I only wear like the same 2 pairs of polo tees in a single week, and then just alternate between them. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday I wear 1 pair, Tuesday and Thursday I wear the other pair. And then this saves me a bit on laundry, because then I can just bundle maybe about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe an entire month's worth of office going clothes, and do 1 load of laundry rather than having to wash 1 load every single week, 1 extra load every single week, other than the clothes that I wear at home. So that's one way to save money, because laundry to me, every time I do a single load is $3. So if I were to change every single day, it's going to, you know, be $3 a week. So that's $12 a month. But if I were to do the way I'm doing now, alternating with only 2 pairs of shirts and socks and a single pair of jeans, I only do a single load a month, and that's $3. I save like $9. So over the course of 12 months, it's not a lot, but it's still something. Food is really the biggest price difference, because when you eat around the office, I mean, it really depends on where you are working. Some people, they work very close to a heartland coffee shop, so you can eat for $2.50 to $3 quite easily. As for me, it's not really easy. Cai peng, the cheapest thing in a food court costs like $4.50 for me. So the only way I could really save money on was to food prep. So usually what I would do is, my wife generally cooks, so we would cook a lot extra the night before, something that can be stored in the fridge and easily microwaved. So I would cook a lot more of that, and generally the ingredients would cost about $2, okay, just to prepare a full proper meal with meat, vegetable and rice. Really depends on what my wife kind of wants to cook for that particular dinner that day. But otherwise, I get a complete meal for $2 if I were to cook. I would ask my wife to make an additional portion for me the next day. So I save like $2.50 every single day. If I would benchmark it against cai peng, that brings me to about how much would that be? $5, $10, $12.50 a week, and that's almost like $50 in a single month, saved on food. So if you kind of add up all this, it really helps out a lot, and I think you guys could possibly try this. So apart from this little life update, I kind of wanted to talk about my channel moving forward. I did a poll a while back with my channel, and I asked if you guys wanted to hear more various topics about the transportation network in Singapore. Would you like to hear that? 60% of you, there were only like 16 people that voted on the poll, not a lot, but 60% of you wanted me to expand on my topic range, which I agree, because there's only so much I can talk about when it comes to Singapore focus topics on motorcycles, because there is not much. The COE topic it's like beating a dead horse over and over again, and I don't really want to be doing that over and over. And to top it off, I'm not really affiliated with a motorcycle dealership, and I'm not really able to be like some of the other YouTubers that review bikes because they own a dealership, they distribute, and they're the media representative for these companies. So it's a bit hard for me to take it down the route, but the other half wants me to, the 40% want me to stick with motorcycles. So I'm probably going to err on the side of the guys that want me to expand on different topics for now. But if you guys want me to talk about more motorcycle topics, you can always volunteer to sit with me on a video. I'm kind of open to the idea of inviting people on my channel to talk about their bike, because everybody has different stories, right? I've got my own opinion on bikes, but the ones that are out there, they may have different stories about different bikes, and it actually may make motorcycling content that's focused on Singapore a bit more varied that I can put on my channel. So if any of you would like to join me on my channel, just drop me a message on either in the description below, the comments below, sorry, or on Facebook or Instagram. I'm quite active in replying to messages. Anytime I find a notification in my inbox. Other than that, well, now Singapore has kind of opened up for the most part. I might eventually want to go back to flying overseas and just get the fuck out of this country. I'm really sick of being stuck in Singapore for the past 2 years. It's gonna be a bit hard though. I mean, the causeway between Singapore and Malaysia, the borders are open now, but to be honest, I don't really enjoy going to Malaysia unless I am going with family or friends. And to top it off, the prices to fly to Europe or Australia in general is no longer the prices I used to pay in 2019. I remember there was a time when I flew to London, it cost like $900. Now prices to London cost like at minimum 1,002 for a round trip ticket. So it's not exactly a very affordable, means to travel anymore. I mean, travel in general is no longer affordable. And to top it off, my favorite location to fly to is Japan. I'm a Japanophile. I love going to Japan. It's like something I used to do every single year. I would just fly to Japan every single year for holiday. If not Tokyo, it will be Osaka, or I'll be in Hokkaido, and that's just my go-to thing. But ever since the pandemic hit, up till now, even though most of the world has opened up, Japan hasn't. So it's not like I can go overseas to my favorite spot, But otherwise, I think things are looking up for me. I'm probably going to be on the lookout at the job market. I just need to find a job that pays me more than what I already am earning, which is pittance, to be honest. And hopefully, things will look up for me on that part, so that I can afford to actually live a life and not be spending every single cent I earn on just surviving. Well, I hope you guys are having a wonderful life of your own out there, and if you have anything to share with me, leave them in comments down below, and I hope to see you next time. Peace out, bye bye. And I really don't know why the goddamn planes have been flying left and right the whole time.